Learning another language is not only learning different words for the same things, but also learning a different way to think about things, is a quote by Flora Lewis. Learning a new language is a skill that can benefit anyone and their perception of the world. As an avid learner of many languages, I have become familiar with many cultures and gained personal relationships with people that speak that same language. Learning a foreign language is a helpful skill that extends beyond memorization. Today, I will explain the best ways to learn and retain language, along with my own tips for doing so. B.F. Skinner was one of the biggest influences on modern behavioral psychology. He argued that all people, particularly children, learn language solely through their environments and the people in it. They learn to associate repeated words with their individual meanings, like food, water, and sleep. Skinner's theory concludes that the most effective means of language acquisition and retaining a language are by the repetition of words and learning to associate those words with their meanings, again, like food, water, and sleep. Simply put, the first step of learning a new language is to learn the basic words used every day, and once you've learned those, you can move forward with your own learning process. Skinner's conclusions also emphasize the importance of having native or fluent speakers of your desired language in your life in order to gain a better understanding of that language. If you are learning a language in order to better communicate with someone that speaks a different language, have them teach you everyday words in that language and use those in conversation until you're comfortable with them and can move on to other words. Once you've decided to learn a foreign language, the next step is to decide on methods you'll use to best understand and learn that language. I learned Spanish as a young child through conversations with my father and other native Spanish speakers in my neighborhood. I did eventually lose fluency in Spanish because English was the only language that we eventually spoke in my house, and Spanish was no longer used. Even though I took Spanish through 7th and 12th grade, I didn't retain much and hardly anything stuck in my mind. It wasn't until I was exposed to a predominantly Spanish environment in my late teens that I actually sought out to learn the language through conversation and exposure. I advise you to seek out any person in your life that speaks that language, like friends or family, and have them speak to you only in that language or as much as possible until you're comfortable interpreting and listening to what they're saying. Though it's uncomfortable to ask or be around at first, learning language through conversation is incredibly effective. Another method I used was through watching Spanish TV shows and movies. I began watching shows with either Spanish subtitles or shows shot entirely in Spanish. My personal recommendations are Money Heist, Elite, and Locked Up. They are all shot in Spanish and help me learn slang and how people our age talk. Listening to Spanish music or reggaeton was also an interpretation exercise I used. I'd choose songs and listen to the lyrics and took my best guess on what they were saying. The rhythm also helped me recognize words through musical familiarity. The genre is also my favorite now too. I'd recommend it to anyone, whether or not they speak Spanish. My personal favorites are Bad Bunny, Dana Paula, Maluma, and Daddy Yankee. After you've begun the language process for another language, it is important to understand how that specific language can benefit you in both short and long-term aspects of your life. For our demographic, let's look at the benefits for learning a foreign language in college. According to Renate Latimer, the Associate Professor Emerita of German, foreign language study enhances one's opportunities in government, business, medicine, law, technology, military, industry, marketing, etc. Being bilingual or even proficient in a second language will benefit you in any career field you choose. Career fields in medicine, business, military, and government are always looking to hire candidates that can build international relations and gain trust with their clientele without language barriers. Bilingual candidates will always stand out amongst others regardless of the career field. Learning foreign languages also enhances memory reiteration, problem solving, and analytical skills, and boosts confidence in one's own abilities to learn, which can benefit you throughout the rest of your education. Further language learning endeavors will also be easier for those who are already familiar with the language learning process. Learning a foreign language in college versus learning one as a child will increase the chances of fluency for later endeavors. Latimer's views are applicable to every college student in this class. Learning a foreign language will benefit you in any career field you choose. Taking the jump into learning a new language and culture will boost your confidence in your own skills and what you will bring to the table for your future career and personal lives. If you don't have a language you want to learn right now, do some research in the most commonly spoken languages in your career field and seek to learn those. I hope that this speech has given you a better idea of how to start the process for learning a new language.